story this week. Will they or won't they? America debates reopening schools to students. In person. During a pandemic. Do you like measles, mumps, chickenpox, head lice? You're gonna love the coronavirus. In Gwinnett County, Georgia, schools ran into some trouble after pictures of unmasked students leaked from social media accounts. This news comes a week after the report of the school's football team largely coming down with the coronavirus due to exercise and practice within confined areas. Of course, in the time since this story broke, the school in question has been shut down, and the surrounding counties have followed suit due to nearly 1,200 confirmed COVID cases. In addition, colleges Notre Dame, UNC Chapel Hill, and Michigan State University have pulled away from in-person teaching. Recently, social media outlets removed a video that Mr. Trump shared containing false information about the coronavirus. The video clip, a phone interview between Trump and Fox News, claimed falsely that children are, quote, almost immune to the virus. Trump was quoted saying, "If you look at children, children are almost, and I would almost say definitely, but almost immune from this disease." I'm sorry, what? That's the real quote? No. Okay, I guess that's the real quote. Meanwhile, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, more than 97,000 U.S. children tested positive for coronavirus in the last 2 weeks of July, more than a quarter of the total number of children diagnosed nationwide since March. Perhaps Mr. Trump is mistaken. Or, more likely, Mr. Trump is scrambling to pander to the conservative ideals of his base for the upcoming election. Make America's schools great again, right? Like when they were segregated and we still had polio. Perhaps it's time to buy stock in very small coffins. I don't know. The stock market's up, at least. Doctor?
Thank you, Doctor. There was a shooting outside the White House this week. No, put the champagne and party favors away. It wasn't that. However, President Trump was giving a press conference during the ordeal and was rushed to his gilded bunker. The Oval Office. The suspect, who was unarmed, appears to have attempted suicide by cop and failed. President Trump, however, is alive and well. At least as well as a 73-year-old man with dementia who wears more makeup than the Kardashians can be. Doctor?
Thank you, Doctor. You know who else is still reported alive? Ghislaine Maxwell, who has not, as of this report, yet committed suicide. I would follow the president's lead in wishing her well as he has, but we here at the Covidiot report do not condone sex trafficking of minors. Doctor?
Thank you, Doctor. Great news for football widows, as the college football season seems to be coming to a close before it even begins. Recently, the Big Ten canceled their football season, along with the Pac-12. They joined the Mountain West and Mid-American conferences in canceling their seasons. More to come, to be sure. I'm going to call it right now. There will be no college football this fall. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, the consensus #1 overall pick in next year's NFL draft, seeing his millions slip away, had this to say: "Without the season, as we've already seen, people will not social distance or wear masks and take proper precautions." Trevor, I don't know what they're teaching you at Clemson. These are English words, but they make no sense. Are you saying Clemson football will cure the coronavirus? Do you not understand the basic physics of social distancing? You don't play flag football, right? You understand that you can't maintain 6 feet of distance when someone is tackling you, don't you? If this man graduates, I want the NCAA to investigate the academic standards of Clemson University.
Actually, Clemson has incredibly high entrance requirements.
Yeah, me play football. Good.
If you don't play football, that is.
This edition of Plague Points brought to you by Nike. Kids driving you nuts at home? Send them to work at one of our sweatshops. Nike.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine tested positive for COVID-19 before meeting with the president, then somehow tested negative afterwards. Democrats have called upon Postmaster General Louis DeJoy to testify before the House about drastic changes to the U.S. Postal Service immediately before a presidential election. When asked about these actions, DeJoy commented, "What, you don't want Russians rigging the election? Fine, we'll do it ourselves." Speaking of Russia, Vladimir Putin has claimed victory in the race for a coronavirus vaccine, despite incomplete final testing. I would insult Mr. Putin for his haste, but I live on the 9th floor. Disney World has decided to cut park hours by 1 to 2 hours per day due to small crowds. When asked, Disney CEO Bob Chapek commented that if this trend continued, Disney would march their armies into the rest of Florida to maintain park attendance. In a move that surprised nearly nobody, Joe Biden has announced Kamala Harris as his running mate for the 2020 presidential election. In another move that surprised nobody, Mr. Trump has already taken to Twitter to insult Mrs. Harris. Glad you're staying on brand, Mr. President. Florida Sheriff Billy Woods has mandated that his officers will be forced to not wear masks while working. Clearly, Mr. Woods is not a Blue Lives Matter supporter. Despite the pandemic, thousands of motorcycle enthusiasts attended the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally recently. Expect inexpensive Harleys in the estate sales next month. Finally, we would be bereft not to mention the explosion that rocked the city of Beirut, leaving as many as 30,000 people homeless and over 220 people dead and 110 missing. The Lebanese government has resigned in response. Our thoughts are with the people of Beirut. And as always,
Trust your doctor.
Don't be an idiot! Seriously, not that tough.